Hello everybody. Today in this video you're going to learn how to work with currencies and how to configure them inside your SuiteCRM system. My name is Bastian Hammer, your go-to expert when it comes to all things CRM, e-commerce, marketing automation and sales integration. Okay, so let's go. So I assume you've got your SuiteCRM system up and running, but so far you haven't really started working with it yet. So you're currently in the setup process. If it's already too late and if you have already data with currencies inside, then at the end of the video I'll show you, or I will talk about how to work with this data now. Okay, so the point of this video is we want to look into currencies, how they work, and what kind of options we have there. Basically, it's fairly simple. It's all the admin area, so therefore I'm heading over to my admin area. And then you can see a couple of different options here. There are currencies, and this is very obvious. It's just standing right here, but they are something that you could do as well. Let's check it out. So if you click on local, you can set up your local configuration of your SuiteCRM system. And as you can see, there's the system currency here. So it's entirely possible to change this one into euro, for instance, and you save it. And now your system currency would be in euro. So if somebody logs in, then creates an invoice or a quotation and enters some products, it will always be in euro automatically. They don't have to configure anything in their profile or whatever. But there's a little bit of a conceptual issue here. If you look into the database, and then you can see product quotes, just for instance, it happens on several locations. And if you switch to the structure, and then you can see the field names are kind of hard coded, or like they have a fixed name inside your database here. So US dollar, that means SuiteCRM takes US dollar as the default or base currency and will always put it here as well. And then there will be other currencies that you can convert it to. So if you're using euro as your default currency in the interface, in the user interface of your SuiteCRM system, underneath in the database, data will be stored in the US dollar field. So this is not really a problem per se, but if you later on go ahead and do like data warehousing, if you're building BI reports, if you want to crunch your numbers and check the monthly revenue, whatever, and then it could be that you need to use the US dollar column inside your reports, even though you're working with euro only. So therefore, I usually don't recommend to go that way. It's not nice, but this is just the way it works here. So you should basically keep this one as it is. And then you can work with currencies. So this is quite neat. If you're working with currencies, then you've got the option to add a couple of currencies. So if you're just working with US dollar, then you don't need to do this at all. You can ignore it completely and you're good to go from the start. But if you have different currencies, this is the place where you would usually want to enter new ones. So here you've got the different configurations for a currency. So again, if you're just working with euro, and then it doesn't matter as well what you put inside here. So you can add conversion rate of 1 or whatever. It doesn't matter because you will never change to US dollar and you will never have anything in US dollar. But if there's a slight possibility that you need to do this, then it would be reasonable to add the currency conversion rate here. So, and then I click on Save after entering all the details for my new currency. And as you can see, now I've got two currencies available. I actually can delete the second one, But the first one, the default one, US dollar, it's always there. It's like fixed, built in inside your SuiteCRM system. That's not flexible, and you don't have like a list of currencies out of the box. You can't easily convert or something. So it's a bit of a hassle. But if you configured it so far, then things are getting much smoother. So what you can do next is, in order to have people working with this currency, there are two options. Either you're going to users, and then you did this work? User management. So either you're going to the users, and then you open just any user, and you would go into edit, and here you can, here in the advanced tab, you can change the default currency for this user. So that means the next time that the user logs in, he or she will just see the default currency euro. Whenever they create a new opportunity, a new product, or a new invoice or quotation, then euro will be just there. They don't have to change anything anymore. So far so good. Additionally, if you don't do this, or if you have like a hands-off process, that means like you're only creating the users and the users are responsible for doing it by themselves. During the first login and afterwards as well, they can go to their profile and do basically exactly the same thing. So as you can see, I'm back in the profile. Here I've got my advanced tab, and now I can change this for myself as well. I can set it to euro, and then the same thing will happen again. Every time I create a new record now, it will just be euro, and it's all good, like I want it to be configured. So this works fairly simple if you don't have data inside your system yet. But if you already have data inside your, let's say, invoices or quotations or something, then it might be a bit more troublesome, because if you haven't set up the second currency and now you notice, okay, we want to start selling in another country as well, or with another currency, and then you would need to add it later on. So now that you're adding it, your default currency might already be, let's say you started in Switzerland. So you got the Swiss francs as your default currency, and now you want to add maybe US dollar and euro for international sales. So now you have to, now it's basically flipped or reversed, like your default currency is Swiss franc, even though US dollar is the default currency for the system. So this believes it's US dollar, but now you're adding US dollar, and it's getting really complicated. So the best thing that you can do there is basically migrate your data. That is really a lot of work. So you would start putting the francs into different fields. So you would need to create for every single module where you already entered prices, price information. You add your Swiss franc field, and then you copy the information from the standard field into the Swiss franc field. Then you would start to convert the new field back into US dollar, override the standard prices that you already input in your system with US dollar, and then you can add euro, for instance, as well. And then you've got the conversion rate from US dollar into Swiss francs into euro as well. So as you can see, it's a bit more difficult, and therefore I really recommend doing this before you start working with a CRM system. So this is one of the few things where you have to really think strategically, like where do you want to be with your CRM system in 5 through 10 years, because it will be with you, it will build up, it will get more complex, and it will be like the backbone of your sales, marketing, maybe of your whole company. And therefore it's really, really important to get this right first. That's one of the few things where you should think about how you are going to develop within the next couple of years, and then set it up accordingly before you start working with the CRM system. Okay, let's quickly recap. So you've learned how to work with currencies in your CRM system, how to set them up, and especially when to set them up. Additionally, we've looked into the problems with the base currency or the default currency, which the CRM system assumes to be US dollar. You can override it, but it's not really clean, like a good approach. It might hurt later on. Therefore, try to set this up correctly in the very beginning. Think long term here. What do you want to accomplish? Where does your CRM system guide you? Where do you want to grow with your company? And set it up accordingly before you have people entering data into your CRM system. Okay, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.